evening, friends. Happy Monday night. So I think the last time I was live in the evening, I was sharing all about me jumping into a bikini competition. So while that might be really exciting to hear about for some of you, tonight I'm not going to talk about that. I will talk about that again soon because I know that you want updates. I know ultimately you want to see me practice posing and see me in my suit. But tonight's a little bit of a different topic. Tonight's a little bit more business oriented, and hopefully you'll take something away. You're watching this right now. If you're watching it live, you're on my personal page, and I'll be sharing this to another page. So for those that don't know me, my name is Dawn Lukowitz. I am let's see, what am I? I am a virtual health and wellness coach, which means I help people get healthy and strong. They do it from the comfort of their own homes, and then I help them virtually, remotely. I help them through one-on-one support and online accountability groups. But I'm also a certified personal trainer. And so my passion and my love the last several years has been fitness and nutrition. But more importantly, how those aspects have impacted every area of my life and how I've grown through that journey and through that process and through this opportunity to pay forward everything that I've experienced. So tonight I want to talk about an important lesson that I have learned really strongly over the last couple years through personal experience, but through a lot of personal development, reading and studying and growth. And that's the importance of our mornings. It's the importance of our morning habits and routines and how they set us up for success in our day. Because if you can win your morning, you're setting yourself up for a much more successful day. Now, I had already planned this topic. It was something that I had already figured that I wanted to talk about, and it happened today. I was much more intentional with my morning today. I used to be like rock solid, but I was much more intentional with my morning today. I got a few things done that had to get done before an early morning meeting, so I was up extra early, and I was in the heat of my morning doing some work, and I actually got a call from somebody asking me to cover their shift at the Y. So that was, it was a 3-hour shift, which ends up being, like a 4.5-hour block or a 4-hour block by the time I had to drive home from where I was, get ready to leave, you know the drill. But because I was intentional with my morning, while it derailed me a little bit, it didn't completely derail my day. And I still won my day. And we set ourselves up for much better success when we can get into good habits and good routines. Because here's the truth. I'm a morning person. I like to get up, and some of my routine is not super productive. And sometimes that's okay, and sometimes it's not. But there's so much more I could get done in a day. Now, my schedule is not as hectic and crazy as a lot of you and as a lot of my friends, and even as mine used to be. I'm blessed with a lot more time than many. But this holds true regardless of if you have all day long or like no day long to get your stuff done. Because if I don't start my morning with intention, it doesn't matter how much time I have in my day, I'm not going to be productive and get the things done that I need to get done. There is an incredible book that I highly recommend if you've never read. If you're not a reader, then get it on Audible and listen to it. But it's The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And essentially it talks about how this man completely transformed his life by changing his morning routine and by setting himself up for wins early in the day. Now, this is important regardless of whether you are a CEO of like a Fortune 500 company or you're a stay-at-home mom with a bunch of kids running around your house. This morning and how you start your day is so important. If you're that busy stay-at-home mom, that might be the only time you have to yourself until you're sleeping. And likely when you're sleeping, you're still not alone because whether your spouse is there or not, there's probably a kid with you. A good friend of mine's husband is way out of town and she's had a kid like in her bed. So even then, even when she's sleeping, she's not alone. But that first time in the morning is when you can kind of set yourself up. This is so important now that summer's here. Now that families' schedules are completely shifted, especially if you have kids, right? So I want to talk about why it's important to set yourself up, why it's important to win that morning, how it's going to set you up for the day, and then give you some tips on ways that you can do that. So in this book, The Miracle Morning, we learn about the importance of that habit. And I do have a couple notes, but if you follow me, you know that notes don't work for me. I do best when I'm not speaking from them, but I want to make sure that I get some key points right for you. When you can take control of your morning, that's going to allow you to take better control of the things that happen in the day. Because when you control that first part of the morning, you have an opportunity to control your attitude, to control your mindset. You actually have the ability to control some of your energy level. And a lot of times we don't think about that and we don't realize that. But by taking control of those things early on, it's setting yourself up for better control during the day. In the one book that I was reading, The Miracle Morning has like several spin-offs of it. There's a Miracle Morning for network marketers, for moms, for like any job that you can think of, for realtors, right? And in those books, they'll interview some of the top people in various industries. And there were a couple things that I noticed over and over and over again. And it's going to be these 6 things that I'm going to talk about. But regardless of how people interplayed these, they always had a portion of reading, exercise, planning their day as part of their morning. So Hal Elrod, like I said, in The Miracle Morning, he specifically calls these things that he does every morning life savers. And the word saver is an acronym. And I'm going to go through it because I want you to understand and know a little bit about what it is that he was doing to start his day that truly saved his life, that truly got him on a path towards success. Now, I don't know what it is that you're looking to achieve in your life. I don't know what your goals are, your aspirations. It might just be to maintain sanity throughout the day. Because believe me, I've got a lot of busy friends who now have kids home for the summer. And this time dedicated in the morning can truly help even them get through the day. And if your goal is sanity at the end of the day, this is going to help. If your goal is to earn more money, if your goal is to get a promotion, whatever it is, this can help set you up for success. So these savers, they're super simple. They're going to sound almost silly and ridiculous. They're so easy. But if you work them, they can be so effective and so powerful. And they're really designed to start your day so that you are at your peak, okay? Not just mentally, but physically, emotionally, and spiritually. That's what these 6 things are designed to do. When you are at your peak in all those areas, how can you not win the day? Or at least win the morning and set yourself up for a win in the day. The other thing is, when you're doing these things, you're going to continually improve yourself, but it's going to allow you to perform at your best. When you're at your peak physically, when you're at your peak emotionally, when you're at your peak spiritually. It makes sense. So what are these savers? Okay, I said it was an acronym, so we're going to start with S. S stands for silence, something that I am horrible at. And this is a struggle for me. Now, as I'm talking about these, understand that you can make these into your own. And I'm going to talk about how you can do that after I go through them. But the S is silence. And silence is going to look different for different people. For you, silence might be meditation. Silence for you might just be deep breathing. Silence for you might be prayer. But the idea is that you're starting silence to clear your mind, to calm yourself, to prepare yourself mentally for the day. Now, I'm horrible with silence, but especially starting my day with silence, because I'm still struggling with grabbing my phone first thing in the morning. So guess what I'm doing starting tonight? I'm going to put the phone back in the kitchen. So my watch stays in my office, my phone's going to stay in my kitchen so that the first part of the day can be silence. Because what happens when you pick up your phone? What happens when you look at your email? What happens when you open your social media? Suddenly your morning is not your own anymore. Suddenly it belongs to whatever message you got, whatever email you got, whatever thing that you saw on social media that drove you nuts. And then you get down a rabbit trail. So silence is important to kind of center yourself. Again, whatever that looks like for you. It might be meditation. It might be just deep breathing. It might be prayer. The next key, and these don't have to go in a specific order. However, I would definitely start with silence. Affirmations. Affirmations are so essential to our mindset. Affirmations are so essential to us becoming who we want to be, who we're trying to be. Affirmations aren't just like these lies that we're telling themselves, like, I am a millionaire. But it's like, no, I am going to do this. Like, this is how I'm going to do it. This is why I'm going to do it. It's attaching more to it, right? This is going to help us perform better when we start believing that we're that person that can do the things that we want to do. These affirmations are repeatedly telling yourself who you want to be, right? Like, if you want to be a better friend, you want to be a better employee, you want to be a better spouse, that's part of your affirmations. That's saying, I am going to be a better spouse. I am going to be a better friend. Like, this is part of your affirmation time. You're talking about the things you want to accomplish. And you're speaking it. It's like you're speaking truth right into you. You want to spend time doing that in the morning. When I was very solid with my morning routine and my morning plan, I actually had an affirmation written out. And it sat on I put it out on my desk at night so that first thing in the morning, I read it out loud. I had one for my personal life and one for my professional life. And that helped set my mind for what I was going to be doing. The V is visualization. And visualization can take a lot of forms. For you, visualization might be specifically to that day in front of you. If you know you have a tough phone call, if you know that you have a meeting coming up, it might be visualizing how you want that to go. But not just what it looks like. How does it feel? What does that conversation look like? It might be further down the line. It might be visualizing your goals and visualizing yourself achieving them. But it's important that we're visualizing because we can't get what we can't see. So we want to be able to see ourselves being successful. Again, that's going to help you when you're mourning. E. Guess what E would be? Exercise. Right? Exercising to start your day early in the morning helps set you up for a better day. Now, in this miracle morning, it's not saying that this is the only exercise you can do, and it's not saying this has to be your routine. But the idea is that you're getting some physical movement, that you're getting some aerobic activity into your body so that your blood is pumping, that oxygen can go to your brain. This exercise is going to enhance your health. We know that, right? But it's also going to improve your self-confidence. What better way to win the day than to be confident about it? It's going to help your focus. It's going to help your mood. Exercise does so much more than help you lose weight, right? It does so much more than lean you out or build your muscles. It does so many things for our brain, for our focus, for our confidence. The other thing that I find interesting, and I love when I read it, and it has to do with exercising in our brain, it's going to help us, kind of be smarter. When we can focus better, we can retain more information. Exercise increases the speed of our brain. We're able to take more in. We're able to do more. If for no other reason than that, you want to get exercise in the morning. Again, whether you're like a CEO of a Fortune 500 company or you're a mom home with a bunch of kids during the day, we got to be able to think quickly and think on our feet, and exercising early in the morning is going to help with that. Now, when I say early in the morning, your morning is going to start at a different time than my morning, than your neighbor's morning, than somebody else's morning. But it's important that these things are happening before the main start of your day. R is going to be reading. If you want to have more, you have to become more. And the best way to be improving on ourselves, to be growing, is to be reading. Reading some sort of personal development, personal growth. It might be, if you're, again, at home, it could be parenting stuff. If you're in a sales job, it might be sales reading. Personal development is personal to you. I can certainly give you recommendations for personal development. And this isn't reading for hours on end. Just imagine if you read 10 pages a day, right? 10 pages a day. That's not a lot. That's not going to destroy your whole morning, right? 10 pages. What if you listen to them? How quick would 10 pages go in an Audible? That turns out to be 3,650 pages a year. That's a lot of pages. Do you know how much learning that is? That's 18 200-page books if you were to just read or listen to 10 pages a day. Think about what that can do for you. Think about how much better you would be in any area of your life that you dedicated to be better at. One of the coaches on my team, it was the coolest thing because I met her as she was finishing it up. But she was doing 10 minutes of this Spanish. It was an app. And so she was learning Spanish in just 10 minutes a day over the course of a year. And 10 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but when you multiply 10 minutes a day, that's 3,650 hours of Spanish that she learned. I waste 10 minutes a day I won't even tell you the things I waste 10 minutes a day on. The S is scribing, and that's just journaling. And that's something that I've also gotten away from. I've gotten away from all of these. As you can tell, I'm kind of going to fire myself up, and I'm going to get back to these because I know that's where I've slipped in a lot of areas in my life, and it's not doing these. And scribing, it's journaling out. This isn't like writing pages and pages on end. When I was scribing, it was usually something that I took away from my reading or something that came to mind maybe from the day before, or a way that I had grown, or a new insight that I had, or a cool quote that somebody shared with me. It was just whatever came that I could write on and draw from. Your start to your day, your routine is your own. You make it work for you. You might not do all of these things, or you might combine some of them and put them together. You might leave some of them out. I recommend doing all of them if you can, but hey, let's face it. Some of them might be hard. Maybe if you're like, hey, I do want to start doing my morning routine, but I definitely don't want to fit all of them in, or I'm going to have to build up to it. That's fine, but the important thing is to get a morning routine going. Get something going that you don't have to think about, but that you automatically do, that is getting things done for you, that is setting you up with some wins, but it's also setting you up for the rest of your day. A sample, hours worth, would be, I'm just going to give you a sample. If you spent 5 minutes of silence, you don't need 5 minutes. On my little watch, every once in a while, it buzzes on my arm and it says breathe, and it makes me breathe for a minute. That might only take a minute for you to just kind of calm yourself, to center yourself, to get yourself ready for the day. But let's just say it took 5 minutes. Let's say you spent 5 minutes on affirmations. Again, I wrote mine out. I read mine, so I knew how long mine took. Maybe you exercise for 25 minutes. Maybe you exercise for 20. You can play with that, but let's say you did 25. Then you spent 20 minutes reading. Maybe you don't. What happens if you don't do 10 pages a day? What if you say, I'm only going to do 5 pages a day. I got 10 minutes. So do 5 pages a day. That's 9 books in a year. That's a lot of learning, right? But let's just say you did 20, and then you journaled for 5. That's an hour. Now, I know that sounds like a lot for some of us, it feels like we're adding an extra hour to our day. But it's amazing that, again, when you start that morning right, when you win that morning, how the rest of your day can go smoother. My days used to look not quite like this, but I had my day set up. So first thing in the morning, I woke up. And when I was being diligent and I was being intentional, first thing I did was read my mass reading for the day. Then I prayed. Spent a little time in prayer. Then I read through my affirmations. Then what did I do next? I did my affirmations. Then I pulled out my personal development reading. Then I journaled. Part of my journaling included my gratitudes. It included my prayers. And it included insight from whatever it was that I just read. Because I don't have fantastic reading comprehension at all. And that's one of the reasons that I don't read a lot at a time. I do it in small chunks. I want to learn something and retain it. And so I'll write something about what I learned. Then, after I did that, I would spend a couple minutes looking at what my day looked like. What did I have going on? And then I would lay out a plan for the day, kind of my to-do list for the day and when I planned to get various things done. And I prioritized it. The things that were most important, that were going to move me closer to my goals, happened first. This way, if the day gets away from you, like mine did today when I ended up working and I wasn't expecting to, the most important things were already done. Right? Does that make sense? So that was it. And then for me, I finished my morning with my exercise. because that's where I spent more time with that. And so I would crush my workout, get a solid shower, be pumped up, because let me tell you, after you finish your exercise, you feel like you can take on the world, and that's how I would go into my day. Your morning routine is so important. It's important to have one. And maybe you have one, and parts of mine, I shuffled it around, and parts of mine, I would drink water first when I was being good, or I would go straight to the coffee, and then I would grab that, and that's how I started my day. But I took all of those things into consideration. I took all of those things into account. I actually wrote out the times that my day started. And I would start, I forget what the times were, but I would start super early. And if I had something else going on, if I had a meeting or somewhere I needed to be, I moved my morning earlier. And I would get up a little earlier. Sometimes I would get up earlier and I would shorten some of the things I was doing. And maybe I would read a little bit less that day. But I still tried to make sure that I was getting bits and pieces of each of those things in, because it was important. So as I was thinking about this topic, as my schedule has gotten busier, as things are picking up here for me, I'm seeing that it's really time that I buckle down myself with the start of my day. And I want to do this with you. Like, I want help with this. I'm going to be straight up honest with you, because when I have accountability, I do so much better. Just like my workout groups, when I have accountability and people that I'm checking in with, I do so much better. And I want to help you set up your morning for success. So I'm going to do a special group. I don't have it all laid out to send you the invitation to yet. But if you want information, starting on July 1st, I know the 4th of July is in the middle of there. I got it. But we're going to do it anyway. We're just going to do a 5-day, a Monday through Friday, starting on the 1st. And it's going to be win the morning, win your day. And we're going to create our own morning routine. You're going to create yours. I'm going to create mine. We're going to play with it together throughout the week and figure out what works for us so that we can start implementing it, so that we can start trying it, and then we can tweak it, and you can figure out what works best for you. So I'm going to do that group starting on July 1st. And I even got your exercise covered, okay? Because exercise is going to be an important part of it. And I'm going to give you free workouts. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to sign up for anything. I don't need your credit card. But I'm going to give you free short workouts that will range 30 minutes and less that you can do during that time, so that you can see, if you're not already exercising and following a plan, how that affects your morning. If you're somebody that's already doing your fitness but you're doing it later in the day, I want to challenge you to move it to the morning if you're able to. There's a lot of reasons you want to move your exercise to the morning. Not just all those awesome benefits, but it's going to take away the excuse that you don't have time to do it, because you're going to do it before anything else starts, so you have time. And it's going to take away that excuse that you're too tired to do it, because you're going to do it first thing in the morning when you're getting up. And the day didn't totally wipe you out. Because the very few times that I planned to work out later in the day, something always came up. And guess what got thrown aside? It was the exercise. So together we're going to create our morning. We're going to create our morning habits and routines. We're going to share with each other how they're going. We're going to walk through how to do all this stuff. If you've never done affirmations, we're going to walk through how to create affirmations. And we're going to create our own. You don't have to share them. They can be personal. But we'll walk through how to do that. We'll walk through how to visualize. We'll walk through how to go about each of these steps so that you can figure out what's going to work for you. That's going to start on July 1st. So if you want to join that group, just comment below that you want info on win the day, or win the morning. We'll say win the morning. Okay, because we're going to win the morning and then we're going to win the day. So just tell me below that you want in that group. That's going to be July 1st. Also, ongoing. I have opportunities for you to plug in. Ongoing, we have a free sample workout of the next program I'm going to be doing. So some of you that have been following my road to competition, this countdown to this bikini thing, I've been doing a lot of lifting. Well, when I come back from that competition, we have a brand new program that we're going to be starting. And so a good friend and I have brought our communities together again. I love when we do that. Our communities are amazing. The men and women that come together and rock these programs out when they start, it's so much fun. There's so much energy. So I want you to try this workout. I tried it this morning. We have a sample of it. So drop below if you want to try free workout, so I can get you connected with a free workout. And and get you information on what that program is. Because if you like that free workout, you definitely want to be part of this community. It's going to be rocking. The last thing that I have for you to plug in, I've been learning this stuff. I've been growing because I said yes to paying forward what I've learned. Because I said yes to being a virtual health and wellness coach. I have not just gained in my health, but I have gained friendships that I would never have made had I not said yes to coaching. I've grown as a person. I've grown as a sister, as a friend, as a spouse. I've grown in my business. I've grown in so many ways that it's like I can't even list them. Because I said yes to taking care of myself and sharing it with other people. That's what I do as a coach. It's also helped me to bring in some additional income so that makes me feel good about being able to actually contribute around here. It's given me something of my own again. Something that as a military spouse who moves around a lot, I didn't have anything that was my own. Everything was always, Jeff's, and I was part of it. And now this is something that I get to have for me. And I want to share that with you and talk to you about what it is exactly that I do, how it is that I do it, what that looks like, what being part of my team is all about. And so I'm going to be sharing that actually on this Wednesday, the 26th. And I'm going to do it in a private group. And I'm going to just share what all that looks like. And see if it's something that would be great for you. Something that you want to be a part of. Because the community that I get to be a part of is the greatest thing in the world. It's what has taught me so much and helped me grow in so many ways. So if you are interested in learning about that, whether you think it's something that you could do or would want to do, but you're just curious, tell me that you want to be in on the coach sneak peek, okay? So there's 3 things that you can hop into. I'm going to read them off again, and I'm going to let you go. All right, first thing, if you want to be part of my July 1st Win the Morning group, comment below, Win the Morning, and I'll make sure that I get you in that group. The second thing, if you want to try a free sample, a free workout, a 30-minute free workout of the next program that I'm going to be doing in the most amazing community that I've ever been a part of, tell me below that you want free workout, okay? And the last thing is if you want to learn about what it is I do as a virtual health and wellness coach and see if it's a good fit for you, tell me right below that you want to learn about coaching. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned something from it. If you have somebody that could benefit from this, definitely tag them or share it with them. Thank you guys so much for spending so much time with me. I appreciate it. And sometime in the next few days, hopefully I'll share a little bit more about the bikini thing. Hopefully my bikini will come in and it will fit. Maybe I'll show it. Give me some hearts and loves if you wanna see that. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.